At night, we see a tower. From within, a sound is heard, something akin to someone groaning in pain. Inside, we see chains and a person speaking. Get a grip, you idiot. This is just the beginning. Don't even think about passing out now. Injecting the stimulant one more time. As soon as this is said, a person screams, and we see blood gushing. A total of 461 seconds. Looks like he lasted a bit longer with the reagent this time. Considering the results, a talented test subject really makes all the difference. We see a person with their head hanging low. Boimir Magic Tower. 461 seconds after the 70-second magic power circuit stimulant. Can we say the magic circle has been activated and the immune reaction has been suppressed? Excellent. Let's also apply a stimulant for memory expansion. People converse in front of a young man bound in chains in this magic tower known as the most powerful in the empire. I'm slowly meeting my end, but why? On a table, we see research materials. Inside a tube, we see several ants. Why did someone like me, said to have a talented mind, end up like this? One of the ants starts to emerge from the top of the tube. Well, now, manifest the stimulant with force. At this moment, the young man feels immense pain. Along with his screams, we see the chains being stretched. Stop. I'm begging you. Stop. What an annoying noise. Let me know when the experiment is over. Understood, Master of the Magic Tower. Chained up, the young man thinks. Why am I? Fading away in the magic tower, the very place I always dreamed of being. Hey, you idiot! Get a hold of yourself, another young man says, grabbing him by the hair. How are you feeling, Verdun? Even without a shred of talent as a mage, you get all high and mighty just because people praise you for being smart. That's why your life force and knowledge are being drained in this secret research lab. You can keep striking that clever pose like before. Go on, talk like the piece of trash you are. Well, I guess you can't even pass out in the state you're in. Hey, are you listening to me? Are you deaf? Where are you looking, huh? He looks back and notices. What the heck? The experiment ants escaped? Take proper care of these things. Can't you even handle that, right? Sorry, Wheeler. You pathetic morons. On second thought, this idiot is practically an insect. He doesn't have a single drop of magic power to break a chain, which is why there's no reaction. You know, that's good for us. After all, it's thanks to him that we now have an East-rank experimental subject on our hands. Why? The friend he entered the magic tower with got a scholarship to study abroad. I feel sorry for Rovelin for having a friend like him. Definitely. For what reason? I see everything that's happening right now. Shut. Huh? What are you mumbling about? Shut your mouths, you scum. It's all because I'm weak. This all started 15 years ago. I grew up in an orphanage because I have no parents. All I ever wanted was to become an incredible mage. In the end, I joined the magic tower as a common laborer to learn magic. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't become a mage. All because of the growth limit. Rank 1. That was from the magic compatibility test I took when I was 7. Basically, it meant I could never become a mage. No talent. It was like a final sentence for me, since my lifelong dream had always been to be a mage. But even so, I couldn't give up, because my only dream was to become a mage. I would secretly peek at magic books left in the rooms while working as a helper in the magic tower. I also absorbed the essence of various books in the magic tower's library. Even without much magic power, I was confident in my intelligence. And then, a few years passed. Verdun, you're a genius. And so, I finally became a researcher at the magic tower. Wait, no, you're more than a genius. How could a common researcher even imagine something like this? This is something the entire magic tower would recognize, even the tower master Balrog. That's when I realized a truth I hadn't even known myself. My intelligence wasn't just a talent, it was at a genius level. Thank you, Lucard. I needed to test this out before presenting it. Thanks for your… What? Wait? Am I the first person you've shown this to? You haven't shown it to anyone else? No. You're the only one I've shown it to. Is that so? Lucard, the only researcher I was close to, had finally acknowledged me. Maybe now I could stay in the magic tower, not as a manual laborer, but as a scholar of magic. That's what I thought until he presented my thesis as his own. By the time I found out, it was already too late. He went straight to the tower master. Please, you have to believe me. That thesis is mine. It disappeared the day before it was to be presented, and then Lucard presented it as his own. So you're saying you're the author of the theory of multidimensional continuity. If it's the respected Master Balrog Bessias of the Boimir Magic Tower, surely he won't let this slide. Yes, Tower Master. If you'll allow me, I'll explain everything from the beginning. What a surprise. I had no idea there was such a talent among the common researchers. If only I hadn't gone to the Tower Master that day. We see the Master placing a hand on his shoulder. Come to my laboratory in 2 days, when the moon is hidden. If I had fled the tower right then, could I have lived a normal life for the next 7 years? We see him being thrown to the ground. That's how I was forcibly imprisoned in the Tower Master's laboratory. You little brat! Always with this useless rebellion. Tomorrow, I'm increasing the experiment's intensity. Get ready. I became a worker by day and a test subject by night. They ordered me to create a magic circle and validate the theory of my own thesis, to inject substances into my own veins and observe the reactions myself, to invent a new potion and prove its effects, and to dedicate my life to the magic tower. Even if I tried to reveal the truth, no one would believe me. All I got in return were threats from the Tower Master to eliminate the people I loved. We see him lying in his cell. It's all over. Okay, I can still do it now. Over here, Verdun. Hey, over here. Verdun, hurry. Wait for me, Rovalin. What is this? Hey, laborer, get a move on. Understood, mage. My childhood? Verdun, let's become great mages together. That's a promise. Yeah. If only my growth potential had been just a little higher. Would things have turned out differently? In his cell, he reaches out his arm, trying to grasp the memory in his mind. Admit it, it's all over. Sitting, leaning against the wall, he hears a sound as ants crawl in the same cell. That sound again. I hear it every time they experiment on me. I don't know anymore. I have no strength left. Maybe it would be better if I just went away. Really? But that's not what you truly feel, is it? It's not. Strangely, a dead ant on the floor begins to say this. It's not over yet, is it? For revenge and for survival. Hold on, grit your teeth and endure it, again and again. Then you will be reborn so that you are never trampled again, so that you can command great power. You will overcome your limits. Hearing this, he clenches his fists and says, yes, it's not over yet. We see some markings on the wall. I need to sharpen the blade of vengeance I've been honing for the last 7 years with everything I have until it's perfect. If I can just solve this one last problem that I can't seem to figure out. Faced with greater power, just having a mind smarter than others isn't enough. If that's the case, then I just need to challenge my destiny. I will rework the entire theory and create a new way to reconstruct the body like never before. The heaven-defying theory, he says, slamming his hand down. Tomorrow, we see all the markings and notes inside his cell. Will surpass all my limits. The heaven-defying theory for body modification I've always dreamed of is now complete. Now that I've accepted the idea of passing on, he kneels on the floor and starts to think, and what I need to prove this theory is, even if my current body, unable to use magic, collapses just for once, that artifact will allow me to use magic. Tomorrow night I will reclaim my freedom. The long night passed, and finally, the day to execute the plan arrived. We see a key opening a door. Hey, trash, time to clean the alchemy lab. Don't just stand there, get a move on and cover those bloody wounds. Whimpering just because you went through a few experiments pathetic, and don't even think about slacking off just because the festival is coming up. Answer if you understood. Yes. We see him in the lab, cleaning some things. Are you cleaning all by yourself? Hearing this, he looks back. Rovalin, what brings you here? Came to say goodbye to a friend before I leave. Ah, you said you were studying abroad, in the magic city of Virente, right? That's a privilege given only to the most outstanding talents, even in the magic tower. Congratulations, have a safe trip. Verdun, my offer still stands. Come with me to Virente. There, you won't have any stuck-up authority figures ignoring you like they do here. You might even get a chance to learn new things in the magic city. And also, don't get the wrong idea, okay? I just wanted someone to talk to. Rovalin, I'm staying here. I'll write. We see the carriage departing. From inside his cell, the boy watches as he thinks. Rovalin, you have no idea about what's happening here. Hurry up and follow the group. About everything I've been through all this time. Still, on the bright side, you won't get involved in my plan. The Festival of Magic, one of the most famous holidays in the world, celebrating the construction of the first magic tower and offering prayers for the rebirth of magic. It's the busiest day at the magic tower. When the festival begins, all the high-ranking mages go to the big city, and only the lower-level mages remain in the tower. He knocks on a door and announces, "It's me, Verdun. You may enter." What do you want at this hour? If it's not important, you're in for a beating. The Tower Master sent me to clean the treasure room. You should have asked for permission first. Don't you have any common sense? What a pathetic fellow. You can come in, but don't you dare scratch or lose anything. Yes, Supervisor. In this way, we see him open a door. Upon entering, he touches something. All right, I blocked the noise with the artifact. Now it begins, he thinks, descending the stairs. He arrives somewhere and stops, facing what appear to be magic circles. Second Circuit, an artificial artifact created by the Tower Master at a great cost, allowing any mage to perform triple casting and temporarily awaken the owner's potential. I need this staff to execute my plan, and to get it, I have to break the protective magic circle. The masterpiece of the Tower Master who reached the 7th level. I've been researching how to break this magic circle for the past 7 years. Tower Master, that magic circle you're so proud of. After placing his hand, we see energy spreading through the room. I will shatter it! Aw, shoot! Some people are lucky enough to go to the festival, while we're stuck on guard duty at the power source. What a drag. We drew the short straw. That's why you're better off staying in your lane. If it were based on merit, I would have definitely been chosen. Huh, is that Verdan? Good, you're here. Bring more drinks. If I become the Tower Master, you can say goodbye to this cheap booze. For real, you think becoming the Tower Master is that easy? If you ever become the Tower Master, I'll personally lick your boots clean. While they chat, we see Verdun leaving with the staff. All right, I'll remember what you just said. I'm definitely going to become the Tower Mao. Before he can finish his sentence, his head is lopped off. The other man looks at the scene in terror. What, you? Beside him, we see Verdun standing, pointing the staff at him. Verdun, have you lost your mind? Your reaction shows you didn't expect this at all. How dare a creature as insignificant as you attack a mage? I'm going to correct that attitude of yours. If you can survive this spell, that is, 3rd level magic, wave, 3rd level magic, earth sphere. And so, we see the magic being cast. The man is shocked as he realizes he's about to be hit. Huh? Next, we see his blood gushing. On the ground, he questions himself. How? How can a 1st level mage use magic? What? Surprised, the mere test subject knows how to use magic. You and this tower should have treated people with more care. After saying this and finishing off the 2 men, we see him standing still. Looking out the window, he thinks, this is the first time I've seen it. The magic tower's power source. In front of him, we see a pulsating heart. It took 7 years to get here. From now on, I will use the mana from the power source to execute the heaven-defying. If I fail, I don't know what will happen to me. But I'll only know if I try. With that said, he takes the staff and strikes it on the ground. A magic circle appears beneath his feet. Body transformation. Heaven-defying. We see the heart glowing brightly, and a light crashing down upon the tower. This light is visible even from far away among the mountains where a carriage is passing. This immense magic power is coming from the power source, which means someone has invaded my tower. We see the wreckage from the impact. Amidst the rubble, a hand appears. Then we see both arms and the staff. This, however, disintegrates. The destructive power was strong enough to devastate an entire region, but the fact that I'm still alive means, did the heaven-defying actually work? As he thought this, he looks up and notices a light. Several magic circles appear above him. Someone's coming this way. The Tower Master? Did he notice the anomaly in the power source? As soon as the Master stops above him, he extends his hand, preparing an attack. We see the impact of this strike. Amidst the dust, we see the Master appear. Is that a teleportation magic circle? You dare touch my tower and then flee? It doesn't matter who you are. Even if you are the Emperor of the Empire, even if you are just a child, I will find you and I will end you, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. At another time, we see a forest. I'm sleepy.
My body has no strength. I just want to keep lying here. The sound of water?
What? Where am I? I was definitely running away. Huh? Standing in the water, he stares at his reflection. What's going on here? My face has changed. Why do I look like this? The brown hair had turned ashen gray, and the black eyes were now a crystalline blue. Did I become a completely different person? Was there some error in the body reconstruction? But the heaven-defying definitely worked? That's right. I managed to cast the spell after touching the mana source. And before the Tower Master found me, I used spatial transfer magic to escape. And now, I'm here. I've never seen this forest before. There are plants here I've never seen near the Bohemir Magic Tower, which means Did I manage to transport myself a distance of half a continent? So, I managed to change my body with the heaven defying. And I also managed to escape the tower with the teleportation circle I prepared. I'm free, finally. I wonder if the tower master has lost his mind yet. He must be foaming at the mouth with rage. The tower was destroyed, so he won't know who did it, nor that I, his little test subject, escaped. But the magic tower won't fall just because of this. Even without the mana source, the tower master will find a way. The other name for Balrog Vesius, the tower master, the omnipotent, isn't just for show. But for now, this is enough. While the tower is rebuilding, I will grow even stronger until I'm ready for my revenge. I will destroy everything he has built, right before his eyes, and at the same time, make the name of the mage Verdun known to the world. Revenge and proving my worth as a mage. That is my sole purpose. Goodbye for now to that wretched magic tower. We see a goblin chopping something with an axe. Verdun says, extending his hand, and we see the magic heading towards the goblin's head. Blood. It is sliced. There don't seem to be any visible side effects. Could there have been a problem with my body's reconstruction? Besides the hair and eye color, the rest seems the same. And the magic power that surpasses normal levels is still here too. I can't quite understand what phenomenon occurred. More importantly, this is going to be a pain. Seeing goblins wandering around so freely, it seems I'm quite far from any village. He notices some marks on the ground. Wagon wheel tracks? Did they drop their cargo while fleeing in a hurry? Magic detection. Better check where the owner of this is. And so, his magic spreads across the area. Go, hurry up. You useless horses, run faster. Darn it, what a mess! What in the world was that? How did it come to this? Running into the remnants of the bandit group that was supposedly already defeated while we were passing through the forest. That was acceptable. Shouting that I knew the local Lord of Pate and still failing the negotiation. I could also stomach that. But the hired mercenaries running away because they were scared of kicking the bucket was something I just couldn't fathom. But what was that bizarre orc with that hideous smile? At least the bandits were too busy trying to deal with those monsters. Otherwise, I would have been done for too. We see him fleeing with his carriage. That sound. Don't tell me it's following us. Hurry up, darn it! Run, you useless animals! While fleeing, his carriage runs over a fallen log. And so, the man is thrown to the ground. Ah, my back. Wait. He stares at the trees in front of him and finds several eyes staring back at him. Orcs and goblins emerge from the spot. Darn it to end like this at the hands of demi-humans. The monsters charge to attack, and he hears a scream. This is the end. Earth Wall. A spell appears around the man, defending him from the attacks. Oops, I forgot to make air holes. One of the orcs looks towards the person responsible. We see Verdun standing there. Well, I better finish them all off before he suffocates. Aside from the goblin I took by surprise, this is my first real fight, he says, a fire spell appearing in his hand. The monsters scream, preparing for the attack. This is the perfect number to test my talent. As he says this, we see the area covered in flames. Multiple fire arrows. While the monsters are hit, the larger orc stands still in the middle of the group. He lets out a cry and points towards Verdun. The monsters start running towards the mage. Seeing this, he prepares a new spell. Multiple fire arrows, wind gust, dual magic, scorching heat arrow. And so we see an explosion at the scene. After that, we see the burned monsters. I surprise even myself. Before, I couldn't even take down a single goblin. Looks like there are none left. Better get the coachman out of here quickly before he suffocates. I came to rescue him when I saw he was being chased. It would be a waste if he perished. As he walks, the orc rises behind him. He hears the sound and turns around quickly. There's still one alive. And with that, we see blood gushing. After the battle, we see the coachman in his carriage again. Friend, I will never forget what happened today. If it weren't for you, Sir Mage, I wouldn't have survived that. How can I ever repay this debt? It's fine. Just pay attention to the road. The carriage might flip over again. Yes, understood. Oh, by the way, there was a horde of monsters. Were you hurt or in any danger? Is it rude to ask that after everything that happened? This person talks too much. It was dangerous, but... What? There's still one alive. We see the scene again. The moment he notices the monster, he prepares another spell. Wind curtain. And so, he slices its head off. You can rest easy. By the way, do bandits appear often around here? I heard that where demons live, there usually aren't any bandit groups. No, this is a first. This forest is within the domain of Baron Pate. I've known the Lord since I was a child and we exchange letters often. He said the bandits were recently subjugated and that we could pass through without fear. So I traveled with the cheap mercenaries I wouldn't normally hire. And just as we were passing through, I thought I had failed the spatial transfer. But if this is Baron Pate's domain, I've come to the right place. I erased my tracks and unintentionally changed my appearance, but the Boymere magic tower can still track me. For now, I need to hide my identity and grow stronger. Ah, Sir Mage, are you listening? I haven't told you my name yet. From now on, I will no longer use the name Verdan. My name is Asher, until the day I can face the Tower Master head on. At dusk, we see the entrance to the castle of the Lord of Pate's domain. Hey, you look! Like you've lost some weight. Must have been from fleeing the orcs. It was my fault. Were you injured? It's not just bandit remnants. There are even demi-humans. Don't worry. It wasn't your fault, my lord. Ah, is this the mage who saved you? I can't let my friend's savior go just like that. Tell him to come to the castle with us. Thank you for your kindness in providing clothes, food, and lodging. Welcome! Now that I remember, I haven't introduced myself yet. I am Pate of Enrod, the Baron who governs this domain. Please, have a seat. Asher, is it? Is the food to your liking? Yes, it's very good. I have prepared 5 million elks as a reward for saving Conrad. Let me know when you need it. This may seem a bit sudden, but if you're up for it, I'd like to offer you a mission. I will pay well for the service. Either way, I'll need money to achieve my goal, and this could be a chance to get used to fighting with magic. Could you tell me more details about this mission? A few days ago, hanged bodies were found in the southern forest. Upon investigation, they were discovered to be residents of a nearby village, which had already been destroyed. At first, we didn't know who was responsible, but this revealed the existence of a bandit group. The problem is that we've searched the entire barony and found no sign of them, as if they vanished by magic. It's possible there's a mage among the bandits. Of course, that's just a guess for now. And when do you plan to start? Pate smiles and says, in 4 days. And so, we see a group gathered outside. A pleasure to meet you. I am Enoch, a knight of Baron Pate, and I am in command of this operation. The one with black hair is Hades, and the younger one is Patrick. Hello, Sir Mage. A pleasure. I am Asher. I accepted because it seemed useful in several ways. But this sudden bandit hunt, wouldn't it have been better to try and prevent this sooner? I don't want to end this before your departure. I guess I should consider this payment as part of the meals I've received these past few days. Are these people also part of the hunting party? Ah, they are adventurers. They joined because of reports of strange orcs appearing recently. The reward must be good. Even gold rank adventurers have shown up. They say gold rank adventurers have combat skills equivalent to regular knights, meaning they are experienced veterans who fight using their bodies and weapons, controlling kit. They say that when these knights reach their peak, they can even split mountains. And the reason I'm needed, even with 3 knights on this mission, is, Sir Asher, if there really is a mage among the bandits, we're going to need you. I understand, but may I ask why? Generally, a second-level mage has combat ability similar to a common knight. But even if that mage just casts spells from a distance, it can be difficult for the knights to move properly. Of course, the ideal situation would be no mage at all, so this is… You mean? We see Asher standing still. There's a magic circle ahead. Dispel. As soon as he uses the magic, we see the said magic circle shatter. What is that? A magic circle suddenly in the air. I never imagined something like this existed in the domain. What I just dispelled were camouflage spells, and this one seems to be an alert. Step aside, I'll continue dispelling. And so, he makes another move and dispels the spell. Breaking a magic circle so easily? Who is this person? Adventurer. One who belongs to a guild, travels the continent, accepts missions to explore unknown territories or combat magical beasts that threaten people. An early demise is always by the side of adventurers, but they are still admired. With skill comes wealth and honor. However, if an adventurer who has crossed the line between life and its end abandons honor and yields to desire, turning their blade against humans, they become nothing more than a bandit. Darn it! We haven't even recovered from the damage caused by Pate's subjugation team. And now, orcs and goblins have started attacking out of nowhere. And to make matters worse, we're running out of food. What are you waiting for? Don't just stand there gawking. Go find other prey. It seems that's them, sir. What do we do, Sir Enoch? Please give us your orders. They are unprepared, so we will attack immediately. Wait, Sir Enoch. I was brought along as a defense against mages. but we haven't yet assessed the enemy's strength. If their mage is stronger than me, we could have problems. But Asher, if they get away from here, there is a way out, he says, observing the two. We finally expanded our territory, and now even the recruits from the village are all gone. All right, stop worrying, and let's think of a solution. Who could have imagined that an orc with a clown's smile would appear and take out our men? Ah, when I was an adventurer, I never thought things would come to this. If only we hadn't been caught taking out other adventurers for money. Ah, those were the good old days. Hey Bilgum, how about we raid another village? No, the Baron was furious about the bodies we hung up last time. We're hidden by concealment magic, but it's about time we moved. I heard about a town called Martes nearby. We could plunder the surrounding villages and... Before he can finish speaking, flames fly in his direction. They land right next to the mage's foot, thus causing an explosion. But even so, we see the mage and the ex-adventurer protected by a shield. Ha! What was that explosion out of nowhere? It wasn't just an explosion, it's magic. We've been discovered. The group then attacks the criminals. The mage, defending himself with a barrier, is hit and spits blood. Shen! The mana barrier is a quick defense technique, but it's not very sturdy and breaks easily. The ex-adventurer is startled upon hearing the voice. And when the mana barrier shatters, the mage suffers a strong impact. That guy must be a mage. Now that I know the enemy's strength, I'll take care of the mage as you asked, so I'll leave it to you, as here. The Baron seems determined to eliminate us. He even hired a mage, however. Do you think it's going to go the way you planned? The ex-adventurer leaps towards Enoch and their swords clash. I'll send your heads to the Baron as a reply. That's a bit cruel to say, isn't it? In another location, we see Asher chasing another mage. I could have just escaped quietly, but they're too persistent. The only advantage is that he's following me using Earth Wall. Flight can only be used from the 3rd level. This guy is 2nd level. How long are you going to stand there? Multiple ice arrows. So I have no choice. I'll attack first. If he's only 2nd level, I absolutely have to finish him here. Multiple fire arrows. Asher counter-attacks, and we see the powers clashing. As soon as the powers collide, an explosion occurs on the spot. Due to the impact, a crater is formed. Nice firepower for a 2nd level, but you chose the wrong opponent. If the knight who came with you had followed, it might have been a disadvantage, but I can handle one of you easily and escape. I don't intend to let you leave here alive. For someone your age, that confidence and talent for controlling complex attributes at the 2nd level. It's been a while since I've seen such a promising talent. I bet you didn't expect to be crushed here today. 3rd level magic, Icefall. Perish! The ice descends towards Asher, but suddenly stops. Huh? Who? We see stones blocking the attack. He blocked Icefall, Earth Sphere. Asher clenches his fist, and the ice is destroyed. Earth Sphere? How can a 2nd level mage counter 3rd level magic? Did I manage it? Because he not only used 3rd level magic, but also controlled 4 elements. Impossible. From the beginning, he was deceiving me. The young man is struck by a spell. After defeating him, we see Asher standing before him. Good thing you showed up. It was because of you that I learned how mages should truly fight. We see a monster's ear, a golden necklace, and a red monster appearing on the scene holding a person in its hand. 2 days before the expedition, I prepared a potion with ingredients I brought from the magic tower. It was the mana circuit expander. Recalling those infernal days in the magic tower, I never wanted to experiment on humans again. But we see the shadow of a cell. Thanks to it, I managed to reach the 3rd level. This should be enough to ensure they're done for. I need to leave proof that I eliminated the bandit gangs to show the Lord and gain his trust. Looking at the mage's hand, he notices something. Is this the wand that guy was using? Appraisal. The type is Mana Stone Staff, and the magic in it is slightly increases spellcasting speed and gives a small boost to ice magic power. It should serve well for temporary use. Asher, are you safe? Sir Patrick? Thank goodness we were worried when you didn't come back after subduing the bandits. Sorry, they were stronger than we expected. It took a while. Indeed, the destruction along the way was no small thing. Now that I remember, you said you just subdued the bandits, right? Yes, the leader is still alive, but Sir Enoch is taking care of him. It should be over by the time we get back. May I ask something before we head back? Of course, ask whatever you like. What happened to the bandits' belongings? The Lord said that if it's not too serious, you can take whatever you want from the loot. Baron Pate, I accept this wand with gratitude. Excellent work, Asher. If it weren't for you, our group would have suffered heavy losses. Not at all. It was a good experience for me as well. Chen is gone. Impossible. Darn it, if this keeps up, we'll be taken to the domain and executed. I still have so much to do. I can't meet my end in such a forgotten place. In that case, it's all or nothing. And so, he breaks free and starts attacking the people around him. Get out of my way! Without Chen's magic, we can't break this encirclement, so there's only one way. Kill the knight and escape with his horse. He attacks Enoch again. After his first attack is blocked, he prepares a second with his dagger. But Enoch manages to grab his arm, grabs him by the collar, and throws him to the ground. Who is this guy? Did he just throw away his sword? Hold him. Don't let him move. You fighting by throwing away your sword? Have you no honor? What are you talking about? Honor is only for the living, my bandit friend. Thus he is executed and his body is dragged away. Forgive me for that unsightly scene. If I had a little more time, I would have cut his neck from the front. This isn't how I usually fight. That was amazing, Sir Enoch. But why did you keep them alive? Ah, it's because the soldiers said they recognized some faces among the bandits. I suspect they might be survivors from the attacked village, so we need to take them to the castle and decide their fate after confirming their identities. Everyone, return to the domain. Take the bandits with you. Stand up straight. One of the bandits suddenly tries to flee. No, I don't want to be taken away to my doom. What? Wait, stop! Leave it to me. Please, wait a moment. Something strange. Ha! This guy. Ah, help! Save me! After hearing the screams of the man who fled, they begin to sense something. Is that the smell of blood? Something emerges from the trees and flies towards the knight. He manages to defend with his sword. Then we see that what was thrown was the man's head. What is that? An orc? But it doesn't look like just that. It looks like that thing. The adventurers must have failed to defeat it. Can you even call that an orc? And not just that one, I sense dozens of subspecies around here. A leader commanding a group of subspecies, is that it? Just like the one I saw before, with a wide, clown-like smile, and a huge body, twice the size of the others. It must have evolved. And so, the larger orc points towards the group. Its subordinates charge to attack. Everyone, defensive formation. Eliminate the goblins first, then take down the orc. The orc's sword clashes with Enoch's. Despite blocking the initial attack, he is thrown backward. Lying on the ground, we see the orc's foot about to crush him. But before that can happen, we see his two companions attacking the monster. This attack is enough to make it lose its balance and fall backward. Taking advantage of this opening, Enoch leaps and plunges his sword into its chest. As soon as his blade is stuck in the monster's chest, he slices down its abdomen, cutting everything. The orc falls to the ground and Enoch lands. We see the fallen and injured orc grab a goblin in its hand. The goblin screams and the group just watches. After that, the orc spits out a bone. And so, it is healed and ready to fight again. Healing by devouring others, is it? It seems we're not getting back peacefully today. Everyone, prepare for combat. The orc, without a moment's hesitation, throws its sword towards the group. It flies towards the face of one of the members, who, with his reflexes, manages to raise his sword and defend himself. That orc suddenly threw its sword. Despite the defense, the size difference in the swords is enormous, and his begins to crack. Until, finally, it breaks in half. The pieces of his sword fly, cutting his face. Those pieces of the broken sword, and he is hit. Here it comes. Watch out, Patrick. When did it even move? Patrick, noticing the monster, charges to attack and attempts a strike with his sword. I'll cut you down right here. What? The sword is stuck in its muscle. In this way, Patrick finds himself trapped. It won't come out. Earth shelter. We see the monster being hit in the face by a spell. Sir Patrick, over here. Yes. I'm alive thanks to you, Asher, but... And now, Asher, I didn't even bring my sword. It seems its regeneration and physical resistance improved after devouring that goblin. I attacked with all my strength to tear off its arm, but the orcs I knew never had this kind of power. Could it be one of those special entities from the legends? I don't think so, but it's too strong. Regenerates and gets stronger by consuming others. Commands subspecies and drives them into a frenzy. Has the strength to face knights as an equal. This thing is on another level compared to a common orc. But if that's all, it's still too weak to be called a special entity. Common magic has its limits. No matter how much mana you use, it doesn't go past a certain point. And if you force it too much, the magic simply unravels. That's the law of magic. But there is a magic that doesn't follow this limit. Terrain manipulation. Between the palms of his hand, we see a magic circle appearing. As soon as this happens, the terrain around him begins to be manipulated. The ground is shaking. As if the monsters weren't enough of a problem, now there's an earthquake. No, we're all going to be done for here. Calm down, everyone. Hold your position. This is Asher's magic. I said that, but in the face of this, it's normal to be shaken. We see a huge crater on the site, with only Asher's group standing on top of a rock. All the monsters fall, and some are crushed by the big one. Asher from above prepares a fire spell, 3rd level magic, Fireball. He launches it downward, burning several monsters at once. They burn really well, turned to ash. Patrick, maintain your composure. That was a more than a satisfying blow, wasn't it? The 3rd level magic, Terrain Manipulation, has no limit to its expansion, but no mage uses it as a primary skill. That's because it consumes an extreme amount of mana relative to the power it delivers. I thought if I had enough command, I could surpass the 3rd level, but it was disappointing. As he lamented, they hear a sound. It's still alive. Down below, we see the orc eating other goblins. What do we do, Asher? If you don't want to burn to a crisp. He extends his hand and once again casts a spell. Wave! Asher, multiple ice arrows, Winter Blast. I'll freeze you until you turn to stone. Dual casting of piercing cold arrow. Both the orc and the other monsters are hit by the blow. But still, the orc extends its hand to try to hit Asher. Even if you don't feel pain or regenerate, Asher dodges its palm. After the dodge, he appears behind the orc and prepares again. If the body freezes, it won't be able to move. The orc looks back and glares at him as he prepares. Frozen orb. After he uses the spell, we see a monster encased in ice. Subjugation complete. At another time, we see the magic city of Virente. Did you see this breaking news? Of course, a magic tower collapsing. This world never ceases to surprise. According to the report, the tower's power source went out of control. Can you believe that? Most of the remaining mages were vaporized, and all of the tower's functions stopped. This field training is brutal. It's been so long since I've smelled civilization. Some people in different attire are talking. The scale of the damage seems too large to be just a failure in the power source. There are several rumors going around. Some say it's divine punishment. Others talk about a planned disaster. Still, I'm glad my theory was confirmed. I wonder if any letters from the tower arrived while we were training. Because there's no way the Boimir magic tower would just collapse like that. I heard there was a secret experiment going on there, and that's why they were attacked. The man who says this is suddenly grabbed by his tie. What? Say that again. What? Why are you acting like this all of a sudden? The Boimir magic tower. What exactly happened there? Congratulations on the subjugation team's return. After the mission ended, they returned to the domain of Pith, where Baron Pyth organized a banquet in their honor. Everyone did a great job. It's a miracle no one got hurt. Come to think of it, I don't see Asher. There he is. Asher, entering the room, asks, "Am I late?" The Baron tells him, "Not at all. You're right on time. Here, have some wine first." Asher says, "Thank you. By the way, I didn't expect you to invite even the common soldiers to the banquet." The Baron responds, "They worked hard to protect our territory. Does social status matter in that regard? Speaking of which, about those bandits you defeated, weren't they a bit too strong for simple bandits?" Asher says. "They were quite different from the usual bandits we're used to. With that skill level, I get the feeling they didn't need to steal to survive." The Baron says, "What you said makes sense. This will help you understand better." After the investigation, we found out they were wanted criminals. They were originally gold-rank adventurers. They took out their own companions and fled a year or two ago. After that, nobody knew where they were, but it seems they formed a bandit gang and ended up here. Gold rank is the 4th highest among adventurers, a status earned only after many achievements. Now I understand why there was a 10 million elk bounty on them. Is that why you looked so pleased? If they had carried out the subjugation without me, the damage could have been severe. He notices a strange look on the Baron's face. Why is he looking at me like that? The Baron says, "Not only did you deal with the bandits, but you also took care of the subspecies in the name of the adventurers who passed. The Adventurers Guild even sent their thanks. You are true benefactors of this territory." A subordinate says, "My lord, please calm down," as her responds, "It's nothing special," and thinks looks like he's had a bit too much to drink. "I got a little carried away anyway." Thanks to you all, we were able to rescue the villagers kidnapped by the bandits and give the victims a proper burial. Let's raise our glasses to Asher, the mage who saved the territory of Pith. They toast in Asher's name. The banquet that followed was quite different from the atmosphere of the Magic Tower. A banquet where everyone had fun, regardless of social status, united by the same spirit. This simple and welcoming place pleased Verdun greatly. It was the first time since he fled the Magic Tower that he had felt this way. He managed a genuine smile, unaware of the turmoil the collapse of the Bohemian Magic Tower would cause. Someone is seen approaching a tower. What? The Magic Tower is all right? Of course I knew those rumors were exaggerated. Someone approaches her. Miss Robelin? You're back from Virant, she responds. Yes, I heard the power source went berserk and destroyed the region, but I'm glad it's more intact than I expected. The young man says yes, the building can be restored quickly. By the way, where is Verdun? He says. Verdun? Well, the young man points to where several people are gathered. There, they see a list of missing persons. Robelin is in shock as she observes the list. It can't be. It can't be. Missing person number 31, Verdun, was on duty assisting in the power room, presumably exposed to mana from the power source, body not found. What is this? Is that it? Will I never see Verdun again? She covers her face in despair. No, I can't be separated from Verdun like this. A dear friend, like family to me. While she was distraught, someone approaches her, touches her head, and says, Stop. Taking your frustration out on others won't solve anything. Mr. Valdek? What exactly happened at the Magic Tower? He says, It's exactly as you see it. While the high-ranking mages were away at the Magic Festival, the power source went berserk, and all the mages in the central area, including the one on duty, were wiped out. And that's not all. All the research data and records we've gathered so far were erased. Even the magic cycle in the treasury room was damaged, causing irreparable harm. The loss of the treasury room's second circuit, along with all the magic books and artifacts we've collected until now, the loss is incalculable. But what I regret most of all was the loss of Test 77. If only we had its remains intact, we could have recovered the lost records and results. But at least we can seek revenge. We found clues about who made the power source go berserk, even though they fled. What do you mean? He responds. Someone disappeared without a trace 3 hours before the power source went berserk. I used the power of other magic towers to track where this person had been and their path. As a result, I discovered this. He shows a kind of necklace. She extends her hand and asks, Is that the emblem of the Black Hour? The Black Hour, a group that not only researches magic in the world's shadows, but uses it to dominate the world. But why? I don't know how they managed to invade the Magic Tower and make the power source go berserk, but what is certain is that they are involved in this incident. And I'm planning to create a Black Hour extermination unit to bring peace to the souls of those who perished in vain. There's also a place reserved for you, Robelin. But from the look in your eyes, it seems I already have my answer. Have you been waiting long? A few days later, at the Adventurers Guild in the domain of Pyth. First of all, I would like to apologize to Mr. Asher. We marked that orc's danger level as the highest possible and sent gold-rank adventurers, but we never expected this result, Asher says. It's all right, it was just a coincidence. Thank you for understanding. Here is the reward certificate for this subjugation. Adding the extra cost based on the danger level to the original subjugation fee, plus the reward for bringing in the body of the new orc species, from the 24 million elk total, only 12 million elk total, only 12 million were left after tax deductions. The man continues, you might already know this, but it's mandatory for non-guild members to pay a 50% tax on rewards. Even if we wanted to waive the tax, it's established by imperial law, and if we're not careful, we could be accused of tax evasion or embezzlement. But there is exactly one legal way to avoid this fee. Asher questions, you want me to become an adventurer, don't you? The other responds, yes, that's right. In our guild, the higher your rank, the lower the tax. Since you are a special case, Mr. Asher, we can start you at the silver rank. Asher thinks becoming an adventurer would limit my future actions. The man continues, you just have to sign this registration form and, Asher continues to think, what matters more to me now than money is getting stronger to get my revenge. And so he says, that's enough, please process the payment as it is. Despite having lived as a test subject in the Bohemir Magic Tower for 7 years, my essence is still that of a mage. We see the warehouse of the Adventurers Guild in the territory of Pate. A mage is always a seeker of mysteries and a dedicated researcher. That's why I brought the body of the variant I defeated here. for a thorough investigation. Still, to think they possess an artifact capable of preserving the state of whatever it covers. This is the Adventurers Guild in the territory of Pate, so I guess this capability is nothing special. Its condition is far from ideal, he says, sensing a horrible smell. Even so, this orc, its red eyes and reddish skin are no surprise, but its torn mouth and larger build, compared to other specimens, are especially noteworthy. However, these characteristics are far from those seen in higher-level species, like orc warriors or orc lords. Its intelligence can't be considered exceptional either. This should be classified as a mutation and not an evolution, but concluding that just yet doesn't feel right. Even if it is a mutation, there's not enough basis to explain its regeneration and monstrous strength just from consumption. This is a scar? Regeneration is the power to restore the body to its original state. This orc's regenerative power was strong enough to heal a burned body and even repair torn flesh. But still, it couldn't heal this small wound, leaving a scar. If that's the case, then it must have acquired its regenerative abilities after receiving this scar. This is the mark of a cut. For a demi-human to acquire powers after birth, so far the only possible way was through evolution. If so, the most likely conclusion is, someone created this variant artificially. That would be the worst-case scenario. After that, he is seen talking to someone. You didn't have to come all this way just to see me off. Not at all. You're the savior of my life, so this is the least I can do. Asher responds, actually, I feel like I've already received much more than I should have from you, he says, using the items, a circulation ring and a beast hide cloak. The items give a small mana increase and a small increase in mana recovery speed. Please don't feel uncomfortable. This is a fair reward that Mr. Asher deserves. I appreciate your words. I'll be going then. Take care until we meet again. The other shouts, Mr. Asher, if you visit a branch of the Conrad Merchant Guild in another city, just mention my name. You won't regret it. And so, he leaves the place. The border village between the territory of Pate and the barony of Martez. Cancel flight, he lands on the ground. So this is the only village between the city and the barony? If I rest here for one night and head to the city tomorrow, the timing will be perfect. As he walks, he hears a conversation. Darn it! Who would thought things would end up like this? Because of them. Again. This time. While listening, he thinks, sounds like there might be some useful information here. Should I listen in for a bit and find out what's going on? Whisper of the wind. Anyway, the problem is the goblins. They took all our livestock and now we're paying a fortune to hire adventurers. Even after we said we could handle it ourselves. The other says, if someone gets hurt, it won't be worth it. The village chief said defeating the goblins is a job for adventurers, remember? Everything will be sorted out by tomorrow morning, so stop complaining. The other still responds. It's not like their fees are cheap. Asher thinks, so goblins have been appearing around here. To common folk, goblins are a plague. They start with petty theft, but when there are many, they raid villages, steal goods, and attack people. For that reason, calling for adventurers when problems arise is the standard response. Well, I guess it's nothing out of the ordinary. By the way, is that rumor true? That James saw a monster in the forest? Hearing this, he stops and listens again. The other responds, the village chief told us to keep our mouths shut. The other young man says, but nobody really cares anyway. It was a few days ago, I think. He went to check a trap he had set in the forest as usual. But then, he heard a wild boar scream and turned around. And there was a goblin with a torn mouth, bigger than an orc, devouring a wild boar. What? Bigger than an orc? Are you kidding me? Keep it down. If the adventurer's here, we'll have to pay more. Asher deactivates his magic. Dispel. That's some unexpected information. A large goblin with a torn mouth, huh? He smiles. Hard to see this as a mere coincidence. In the middle of a forest, an arrow is seen flying in one direction and hitting a goblin in the eye. Bullseye. So, I've gotten a lot better, haven't I? The one asking is the silver rank adventurer, Myrna. Her companion is the silver rank adventurer, Loki. Bragging about hitting a target right in front of you? Have you no shame? He asks her. Another woman who approaches accompanied by another man says, we're in the middle of the mission, so stop messing around. Mew, did you find any signs of goblins? She is Iris, a silver rank adventurer. The other man pointing in a direction is Mewd, a silver rank adventurer. Up ahead, there's a cave that seems to be the goblins' hideout. A totem made of human and animal bones. It's the symbol of the robogoblins, a superior species. If we're careful with the cave's terrain, it shouldn't be too dangerous. First, before entering, destroy all warning devices and totems. Vision, imbued. She uses a spell on the group. Suddenly, they could see everything in the dark as if it were day. Now, even without a torch, you'll see just fine. As expected of our leader, we can always count on you. And so, they enter. But as she entered, the woman seems to notice something outside. Her companion questions Iris, is something wrong? No, it's nothing. Despite her reply, she thinks, I felt like I detected a bit of mana. Between the trees. In a bush, movement is seen. The group is already inside the cave. At a certain point, goblins are seen squatting in front of a fire with skulls. A glint appears from the back of the cave, and an arrow hits one of the monsters in the back of the neck. Now, the two adventurers charge and defeat the other two goblins. Everything's going smoothly. Looks like this will be over quickly, huh? Iris responds, don't let your guard down. It's not over yet. The group hears a sound. It might be a hobgoblin. I'll go ahead to scout, Iris says. All right, be careful. If anything happens, send a signal. As soon as she moves forward, she finds several mangled goblins on the ground. The sight paralyzes her with fear. Myrna, is something wrong? She says. Well, it's just... Without saying anything, she thinks. I just heard something that sent a shiver down my spine. They find a huge goblin eating others of the same species. What is that? What is that? A giant goblin eating its own kind. Could it be a mutant variant? But there was nothing about this in the mission description. For now, let's focus on taking that thing down. It may be huge, but if that's all there is to it, we can handle it. Thinking this, she begins to say. I'll explain the plan. Myrna, hit the goblin's right eye. Mudlock, you two hold it down and buy some time. I'll finish it. Myrna leaps and with her bow in hand, prepares 3 arrows. In the air, she aims. And so, releasing the arrows, she hits the goblin's eye. Mude, raise your shield! Locke jumps on his companion's shield and launches himself towards the goblin. He is seen passing by the monster, landing a slash. Great, I got it. Despite thinking that, the goblin's hand is seen falling towards him. Mana burst. As soon as Iris uses her magic, 4 explosions hit the giant goblin's body. He falls to the ground, screaming. Suddenly, he grabs a goblin that was next to him and hurls it at the adventurers. That thing just threw a goblin. Leader, get down. Suddenly, Asher appears on the scene and says, Air rail. A force descends upon the goblin that would have hit the leader. The goblin hits the wall, and the leader is seen safe. Another arrow is launched, and once again hits the giant goblin. This time it falls to the ground. Hey, are you okay? Are you hurt? Myrna asks. She responds, I'm fine. After responding, she thinks if that goblin had hit me head on, I would have been done for, but its trajectory changed in midair. What was that? Myrna continues, anyway, I'm glad we completed the mission without anyone getting hurt. Let's hurry back to the village and get our reward. Asher, Hidden says, good thing it didn't get any worse. Good thing I followed them invisibly. That way, I got to see one of the lab specimens, the Joker, a demi-human. Every test subject I've encountered since escaping the magic tower has an unusual characteristic, a mouth torn like a jester's smile. Because of that, I started calling them Jokers informally, but this goblin was different from the usual Jokers. Unlike the other variants, they didn't have increased physical strength and didn't seem to regenerate or get stronger by eating their own kind. Maybe it was just a big goblin or a failed experiment? Even so, that mage. We see her speak. Just to be sure, let's confirm if there are any goblins left here. Myrna, keep watch over the area. Loki and Mude, you take the other paths. She has quick judgment and is very sensitive to mana. It wasn't a coincidence that she sensed my mana outside the cave back then. In the end, no reward, huh? Suddenly, another person appears. Well, someone showed up while I was out. You don't look like an adventurer. Identify yourself. If you come any closer, I'll attack. Sorry for the late introduction. I'm the one in charge of managing this place. You know, the one you all destroyed? This creature was supposed to have limited activity in this area, but while I was away, it even went as far as building a totem. Because of that, it completely exposed this place. Not even manipulating its brain was enough to control its instincts. Huh? By the way, did you notice anything strange about that goblin? Any odd behavior? From your silence, I guess it was just an ordinary goblin. If the professor finds out about this, he's going to flip. But what can I do? What's done is done. Better to focus on what can still be fixed. Which means all of you will have to perish here. Are you saying you're going to face all of us alone? the man responds. Of course. Because of you, that species of mine is gone and our experiment was compromised. Even if it weren't, there's no guarantee you wouldn't spread the word about this place. If we promised to keep your secret, we wouldn't have to fight, right? He responds, and do you have any guarantee that you'd actually keep the secret? Even if you promised, I have no intention of letting you leave. To be honest, I just want to hear your screams. So, who wants to be first? The only one who's going to perish here is you. Hearing this, he says, that kind of courage is… Suddenly, he begins to think, wait a minute, that voice came from behind. Who said that? A power comes towards him and hits him, saying things like, want to hear your screams and who wants to be first? The one talking too much and trying to act tough here is you. Don't you agree? Asher appears in the middle of the place. I didn't intend to interfere. But if I hadn't shown up, the group behind me would have been completely wiped out by that man. A little while ago, that man mentioned the goblin as a test subject, and he talked about someone called Professor. No doubt about it, this is related to the Joker demi-humans, the injured man asks. Who are you? Asher responds, I don't believe I have any obligation to answer that question. The other says, well, it doesn't matter, even if you don't reveal who you are. It doesn't change the fact that you're going to fall by my hand. As the man leaps toward him, Asher uses a spell, multiple flaming arrows. The opponent continues to advance. With his sword in hand, he tries to attack Asher, who defends himself with a barrier. The barrier is seen cracking, and Asher uses another spell, Mana Pulse. While fighting, he thinks, this speed. Did he reinforce his legs using some kind of energy? The weight behind his sword strikes is lighter than that of a pith knight, but his speed is far superior to theirs. I thought I could end this with a single blow. I'll have to change my combat strategy. You're pretty quick with your magic. I don't know what your level is, but in that case, I'll increase my speed too. Now, show me how you'll handle this. Asher again prepares himself. Winter's Gale, Ice Cascade, Dual Cast. The man, while advancing, thinks simultaneous use of ice and wind elements. Glacial Burst. He avoids the magic while saying, dual cast with 2 elements, impressive for sure, but if you miss, none of it matters. Behind Asher, he prepares for an attack. The slash is seen happening, but Asher manages to dodge. He thinks a mere mage dodged my attack. Iris also thinks he's just a mage, so how did he react so fast? Igneous explosion. An explosion takes over the entire place. Despite this, the man is still fine. You lured me in for a counter attack on purpose. That's not something an ordinary mage would do, but that's all. This trick won't work on me again. Asher responds, so traps don't work on you anymore either. Then, from now on, I'll fight like a true mage. Using a spell, the ground beneath the group begins to rise. Iris screams, and the group is seen being launched into the air. What is this? The ground is shaking all of a sudden. Suddenly, everything stops. Is this terrain manipulation? That spell is known to consume a lot of mana, but he's using it in actual combat, casting 2 spells at once and firing powerful spells in quick succession. His mana reserve must be immense. This fighting style. I've never heard of anything like it before. The man says, what is this? You said you were going to fight like a mage, but you just ran up high. You think I can't do anything just because you're up there? Despite saying this, he thinks, wait a minute, did he really move through the air? Is that it? But why did he take all the adventurers up there, even knowing the huge mana cost? This is… Looking at the ground, he notices water at his feet. Could the flames from before have melted the ice shards? Asher begins to prepare a spell. Wait, I don't believe it. The magic begins to spread across the area. And Iris is impressed. Is that lightning magic? While he uses the magic, she thinks, even among the Academy's professors, few can master this element. Tier 3 magic, Thunderstrike. The man is hit. While being struck by the magic, he questions himself, who is this kid? Fire, ice, wind, and now even the advanced lightning element. Triple cast. A strong impact occurs at the location. Dust is seen rising, and Asher flies while saying, let me ask you something. There was an orc in the barony of Pith, similar to that goblin we saw earlier. Are they all connected to this professor? The fallen man speaks, so that's why it was so quiet over there. You were the one responsible for that, weren't you? Did you come from the Ark? Hearing the question, Asher becomes curious. The man notices and says, seems it's the first time you've heard of it. It's fine if you don't know. You can finish me off, Asher says. Before I do that, answer me. Where is this professor? The man says. Why do you want to know? Asher responds, I'm interested in the experiments you're conducting. The young man thinks it would be dangerous to let him get to the professor. And so he says, all right, the professor is, but before speaking, he thinks, then I'll perish here along with him. And so he spits something towards Asher. What was thrown goes towards the mage, but hits his barrier. So that's your answer. I understand perfectly. Earthen impact. After finishing off the opponent, he thinks, I thought I had finally found a clue about the jokers, but in the end, all my efforts were in vain. It doesn't matter. First, I need to finish what needs to be done now. So from now on, all of you will have to follow my orders.